7 cognitive biases destroying your decisions and how to spot them. You think you make logical decision. Right now, I'm going to prove you are wrong. Your brain doesn't want truth. Your brain wants a survival. And to survive, it takes shortcuts, dangerous shortcuts. We call them cognitive biases. And they are affecting every decision you make. From who you date, to what job you take, to which conspiracy theories you believe. In the next 11 minutes, I am showing you 7 cognitive biases that are actively destroying your life. Most importantly, I am showing you how to spot them. Before we start, understand this. These biases aren't stupid. They are evolutionary. Your ancestors used them to survive. But in the modern world, they are sabotaging you. Bias number 1. Confirmation bias. That means the truth you choose. The first and most dangerous is confirmation bias. Your brain is constantly scanning the world for evidence that you are right, and it ignores everything that contradicts you. Think about politics. You have a belief about a politician. Now notice how you interpret news about that politician. If they do something good, you ignore it. It shows bias. If they do something bad, you share it everywhere. It shows confirmation. A real world impact, I will show you. The bias is why intelligent people end up believing opposite things based on the same facts. You are not stupid. Your brain is just looking for different confirmations. In relationships, this is devastating. You decide someone is toxic. Now every action they take, even kind ones, you interpret through that lens. They bring you flowers, you think they are manipulating me. They apologize, you think they are fake. Your bias confirmed your belief, reality doesn't matter. Now, how to spot it? Notice when you are only looking for evidence that supports what you believe. That is confirmation bias in action. The antidote? Actively search for contradictory evidence. Force yourself to argue against your own position. Next is bias number 2. The Dunning-Kruger Effect. That is incompetent and confident. Right? Do you see you in your mirror? The Dunning-Kruger Effect is brutally simple. The less you know about something, the more confident you are. Here is why. Competence requires knowledge, so incompetent people don't know what they don't know, which makes them feel confident. I will give you a real world example here. Someone takes one cryptocurrency course and now they are lecturing people about blockchain. Someone reads one psychology book and they are diagnosing their friends. Someone watches one YouTube video about investing and they are suddenly a stock market expert. The problem? Real expertise makes you less confident because you understand the complexity and nuance. Here is the danger. This bias is why overconfident people end up leading companies into bankruptcy, why they make terrible life decisions, why they convince others to follow them into disasters. Now, how to spot it? If you feel extremely confident about something, pause. Ask yourself, how much do I actually know? What I am not considering? Genuine expertise is humble. Fake expertise is loud. Now bias number 3. Sunk cost fallacy. That is throwing good time after bad. That is called sunk cost fallacy. You have been in a bad relationship for 3 years. You spend so much time. You stay. Why? Sunk cost fallacy. You bought a course for $500. You hate it. But you force yourself to finish it because you already spent the money on that. You are on a career path you hate. You have invested 10 years in that career. So you stay miserable rather than admit the investment was wrong. Here comes the psychology. The sunk cost fallacy is your brain's way of avoiding the pain of admitting a mistake. It is not logical, it is emotional. If I quit now, all that time was wasted. But that time was wasted the moment you realized this was the wrong choice. Staying miserable doesn't recover the past. It just creates a miserable future. Here I will show you a real world impact. This bias keeps people in toxic jobs, dead relationships, and failed businesses because leaving feels like admitting failure. Now, how to spot it? The moment you catch yourself saying, "But I have already invested so much," stop. That is a sunk cost fallacy. Only look forward, not backward. Now I am going to tell you about bias number 4, the availability heuristic. That is, your memory is lying. Do you think? Yes, your brain remembers vivid events more clearly than common events. So you think vivid events are more common than they actually are. I shall give you an example. You see a plane crash on the news. Now you think flying is dangerous. Meanwhile, you have driven home in traffic 5 times this week, which is statistically more dangerous. But driving is boring, so your brain doesn't remember it vividly. The media shows you 10 stories about terrible things. You think the world is terrible, but there are 8 billion people on this earth. You are seeing a tiny curated sample. Then the relationship impact. You had one bad experience with someone of a certain type. Now you avoid that entire type. Your vivid memory convinces you there is a pattern, but it is just availability heuristic. Now how to spot it? Notice what your brain makes vivid. Notice what memories are shaping your decisions. Ask, is this actually common or just memorable? Now come to bias number 5, the backfire effect. Facts can't change your mind. The backfire effect means the facts can't change your mind. Show someone evidence that contradicts their belief and they don't change their mind. They double down. Here is the phenomenon. I shall explain. You show a conspiracy theorist evidence they are wrong. They believe even harder. You show someone statistics that contradict their worldview. They dismiss the statistics. This isn't stupidity. This is neurology, science. Your brain experiences contradictory evidence as a threat, so it defends. It digs in. It looks for reasons to dismiss the evidence. Now I shall tell you a relationship impact. You try to convince your partner they are wrong. You bring facts, evidence, logic, and they believe even more strongly that they are right. Remember, the more you push, the more they resist. The more facts you provide, the more they dismiss them. Now how to spot you can do it? The moment you realize facts aren't working, stop using facts. Switch it to understanding. Use psychology. Ask, why do you believe it instead of you are wrong. Understanding creates change. Facts create defensiveness. Now I am bringing you bias number 6. The curse of knowledge. That means you can't unknown it. Once you know something, you can't imagine not knowing it. This destroys a communication. I shall give you an example. An expert explains something to a beginner and the beginner is confused. The expert thinks, how could they not understand this? It's so obvious, but it is only obvious because they already know it. Here is a relationship impact. You understand something about yourself. You assume your partner will understand it too, so you don't explain. They feel unseen. You feel misunderstood. How you can spot it? Whenever you think someone should understand, pause. That is a curse of knowledge. Actually explain. Don't assume. Now I am bringing you bias number 7. That is negativity bias. It means your brain loves danger. Yeah, it is like that. Can you identify? Your brain evolved to survive, not to be happy. So it is obsessed with the danger. One person gives you a compliment, 10 people treat you normally, one person says something rude, guess which one you remember? You remember the rude one. Your brain prioritizes threats, dangers. I will show you a real world impact. You get 99 positive comments and 1 negative comment. You obsess over the negative one, you lose sleep. You replay it. This is why anxiety is so powerful. Your brain is literally wired to focus on what is wrong rather than what is right. Now how to spot it? When you notice yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, name it. That's my negativity bias. It is trying to protect me, but I am safe. Then actively count the positive evidence. Force your brain to balance. Finally, I am bringing it all together to you for your convenience. Now, here is a crucial insight I am bringing to you. You can't eliminate these biases. They are hardwired, but you can become aware of them. Awareness is the first step. The second step is creating systems. What? Systems that account for the bias. Want to avoid a confirmation bias? Actively seek contradictory evidence. Want to avoid sunk cost? Make decisions based only on what is ahead, never what is behind. What is ahead, not what is behind. Want to avoid negativity bias? Create a daily gratitude practice. Which of these 7 biases showed up in your life this week? Comment below. Because when you name the bias, you take back power. Your brain is ancient, your world is modern. You understanding that? You understand that gap? That is where wisdom lives. Thank you.